Welcome to SELP, where business students get help. I'm your online coach, C Positivista. Welcome to another video. So this is video one of me kind of just breaking down the business model canvas. So within this video, I'm going to speak about customer segment specifically. So if you watched my introduction video, then you should already have the instructions that I gave you, which is to get yourself a piece of paper and then draw something like this. So as I'm explaining this particular aspect of the business model canvas, write it down, be writing it down, aim it towards your business, just so that you're getting the information and you're putting it down to your business for your business. Okay, so what is customer segment? Customer segment is essentially your target audience, your target customer. Who is your product or your service for? So if you're starting a business, or if you have an idea that you're thinking, okay, you want to launch the idea, the first thing I want you to think about is, who is this product for? Who will be buying your product and who will be using your service? That's the first thing. That's who your customer segment are. That's who they are. That's who it is. That's who your that's who your product is for. That's who your service is for. They're your service users and your product users. Right? That's just the most simplest way I can put it. Like, a key activity that you can actually do to figure out who your customer segment are, your customer segment is, like who are your customers, is you can create a customer avatar. It looks something like this. You can create this, and with this, what you need to put down will be, you need to put down the demographic. How old are your customers? Are they younger? Are they young? Are they older? This information is going to help you when it comes to marketing and advertising your business. If you don't know how old your customers are, your potential customers are, your target customers are, if you don't know how old they are, then you won't know where to market or to advertise the products. So say, for example, if you feel like, okay, if they're younger, not a lot of young people use Facebook nowadays. So you would know that, okay, so this age group, you will need to advertise at this particular place. You need to think about the demographic, which is the group of people. Who are the group of people that you're trying to target? How old are they? You know, like, you can put down, like, what's their age, where are they from, what's their background, and you can also look at their geographic. So the geographic is the location, whereabouts do they live, and whereabouts are you trying to set up your business. And this will really benefit you. Like, if you want to start, like, if you want to put your shop in a particular location, is your target audience there? Like, do they walk past there when they're going to college? Like, if, for example, if you want to start an eyelash business, is there hairdressers nearby? Are your target audiences around? Like, you want to put your business, or you want to put yourself where your customers are. You don't want to just put your shop, or you don't want to just rent out a place. You don't want to just rent out a place where, just for the sake of renting out a place. It's important for you to understand where your customers are geographically, and it's important for you to know who your customers are demographically. It's really important. And I really do believe that that's one of the main reasons as to, I really do feel like that's one of the main reasons as to why people, or why businesses fail in the first place. That's one of the reasons why one of my businesses that I was gonna launch a few years ago failed. Lack of research. Do your research. And sometimes you might do the research on the product, but you might not do the research on the people who are actually going to use the product. You need to understand the people who are going to use your product. What are their issues? How are you going to solve their problem? How are you going to bring convenience? If that's what they're looking for. Are they looking for convenience? Are they looking for luxury? Are they looking for it? Just, you need to figure out what your target audience are looking for. And at times you might need to even tweak up your service or tweak up your product in a way that can bring more of a value for your customers. What is the need? What is the need? Is there a need for your product? Is there a need for your service? If you feel that there's a need for your service, I believe that with my business, there's a need for my service. So many people, specifically, so many young people want to start their businesses, or so many young people have so many bright ideas, but they're just stuck. Whether, you know, the fear of being seen, the fear of failing, the fear of, you know, of people having an opinion. That is very much something that I went through. And because I went through it, and I totally understand, and I totally understand how that can be a big, like how that can be a massive barrier to starting your business. I've then created something where I have an understanding of the customer, because I was the customer at one point. However, it's not about me, it's about what my customer needs, what they need, what is the need. And sometimes I personalize my service depending on what the individual needs, where although I might be supporting them to start their business, I then also go into personal development, because they might have, you know, issues within themselves that they need to work on, you know, lack of discipline, lack of motivation, so many different things that can go into starting a business. And it's like what I mentioned before, so many times you've got people who, the product is great, you know, there's potential there. However, the lack of knowledge of their customers just brings them to a point of failure, simply because they didn't study the market. Like, you can study the market without studying your customer. You can look at the market and say, yes, this is a good market to go into, this is a good business to go into. However, if there isn't much of a need, if you don't understand the target audience, if you don't understand the target customers, then how are you going to make money? How are you going to make money? How do you know that people will spend money on this? How do you know? So another way that you can also do this is conduct, like, literally, if you're at college or you're at uni, because I started my business when I was at uni, and this is something that I should have done. Create a survey about your product and pass it around to people that you think would use your product. Ask them a few questions. Don't make it too lengthy. People's attention spans these days is not that great. So don't make it too lengthy, but make it, I don't know, 10 questions. Put down 10 questions asking them if they would buy it, how much they would buy it for. You know, just ask all of these questions before going ahead and putting in a huge investment on a product that might not potentially sell. Network. But we're going to talk about networking a little bit later, in a separate video. But make sure that you're speaking to people. And I know that nowadays it's like, oh, like, I don't want to tell you, like, you don't want to tell people about your business because of evil eye and whatever. But if you don't speak about it, if you don't talk to anyone about it, if you don't get a mentor, someone to support you, someone to guide you, if you don't speak to potential clients, then how are you going to know whether or not your business will work? You need to speak to people, but you need to know who to speak to, not just any and everybody. You need to speak to people that will potentially support you, that will be able to support you and even provide you with constructive criticism. Criticism is okay, it just has to be constructive, right? So look into the social media platforms that your target customers are on. Which social media platforms are they on? What do they use most? What does their life look like? Are they a student? Are they a full-time employee? What does their life, their day-to-day life look like? When you're creating a customer avatar, it doesn't have to be straight facts. You're being delulu at this point. You're making it up. Obviously be logical, but in the same breath as well, think about the ideal person that would use your product, the ideal person that would buy or use your service. What do they look like? What do they do for a living? How much are they earning? Are they able to afford the service? And if not, that's totally fine. There's always different ways around it. Again, we're going to talk about that in a separate video. But for now, just try to study who your audience is. Once you've understood your product, then figure out how is your product going to get from you to your customer. How is your product going to get from you to your customer? And in order for you to know that, you need to do your research. Don't just wake up one morning and you want to start the business. You need to really sit down and think about it. How are you going to do it? How is it going to work practically? How is it going to work? All right, so thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed this content, and I'll see you guys on part 2.